So, myself Dr. Upendra Kumar, I am assistant professor in computer science and engineering department IIT Lucknow. So, today I will discuss about the structure union array of a structure in C. Just see, first we will like to discuss what is structure. Just see, if we talk about an array, so array is a collection of items of similar data type. So, now if we want to store the collection of items which are different data types, in that case we can use structure in C. So, structure is what? Structure is a heterogeneous data type which can store multiple items of different data types. So, this is the beauty of a structure. So, structure is a user defined data type in C language which allows us to combine data of different types together. So, it is somewhat similar to an array, but an array holds data of similar type only, but the structure on the other hand can store data of any type which is practical more useful. So, we know that the real time examples, the data has heterogeneity, means the data has the variety of data types. In that case we can use structure, and a structure is very much useful for this kind of data set. For example, if we want to write down a program to store the student information. So, what kind of information the student can have? So, student name is basically a character array data type, student roll number basically a integer data type, student mobile number is a integer data type, student address is it is a character array type. So, basically student information can have the multiple data which is of multiple data types. So, different data types. So, in that case we can use structure over here. So, what we will do? We will declare a structure whose name will be student, and within the structure we will declare the members of the attributes of the student over here. So, we will require something which can hold the data of different types together. So, in a structure data is stored in the form of records. Now, see how we can define a structure. So, to define a structure in C, a very special keyword is used, struct. So, struct keyword is used to define the structure. So, struct defines a new data type which is a collection of primary as well as derived data type. Just see here how we can write down the syntax for a structure. So, first the struct keyword, then the structure name. This name is given by the programmer, given by the user. So, structure name. So, if we want to declare a structure for the student, so we can give a structure tag name, that is student over here. Then the curly bracket starts, then within these two curly brackets we have member variables. So, here there are 3 member variables. So, it can have any number of member variables inside these two curly brackets over here. Now, just see here the semicolon comes over here. So, this semicolon tells that this is the end of definition of a structure over here. Before this semicolon we can declare the structure variable. So, we have a structure name anything. So, we for that structure we can have any number of variables which will be declared over here before this semicolon, because this semicolon is what? This semicolon is telling us that here the definition of a structure is being closed here. Now, inside the curly braces we have to mention all the member variables which are nothing but the normal C language variables. Just see here, these variables are nothing but the normal C variables which can have integer data type, which can have float, double, char, character array, anything else. So, this is how we can write down the syntax of a structure. Just see here, for example, we want to write down the structure for student. So, struct then student name, the structure name is student, and within this curly bracket we have written 4 members, 1, 2, 4 members. First member is what? The character array, the character name of the student which is character array type, age of the student which is integer type, branch of the student which is a character array type, branch means computer science, mechanical, electrical, and then the gender. So, gender is of character type. So, it can have only single value, single character, either male or female. So, for male the capital M within single quote, and for female within single quote F. So, these are the two data fields of this structure. Now, this is the closing of definition of this structure variable here. Here the struct student declares a structure to hold the details of a student which consists of 4 data fields. Just see, namely the first student name, then age, branch and gender. So, it can have any number of data fields where we can add more number of fields, mobile number, address and so on. So, student is the name of the structure and is called as the structure tag. So, this name is given by the user or the programmer itself. So, this is how we can declare a structure. Now, if we want to declare the structure variable, once we have defined the structure, how we can declare the structure variables. So, basically it is possible to declare variables of a structure either along with the structure definition. There are two ways, either we can declare the structure variable within the structure definition or after the structure definition. So, these are the two different ways. So, just see here, first one is the after the structure definition, the second approach is within the structure definition. Just see here, the structure definition start from this keyword struct, then structure name, then data members 1, 2, 3 and 4 data members, and then the curly bracket, closing curly bracket and then the semicolon. Just see here, after this semicolon the definition of a struct is completed. Now, after completion of this definition, we are going to declare the structure variable outside this definition. How we can declare it? First we will write the struct keyword, then the structure name is student. Just see here, student. Now, the variables. So, we have taken here two variables, we have declared here two variables S1 comma S2. So, this is the structure variable declaration after the definition here. Now, just see here in this case, we have, this is the structure definition. Now, this is the semicolon, the closing of this definition. Within this closing of definition, we have declared two variables, structure variables S1 and S2. So, just see here, these two structure variables are declared within the definition of this structure. So, these are the two approach which are being used to declare the structure variables. The second approach is not a good practice. Most of the time we declare the variables, structure variables by using the FAST method in most of the cases. Now, how we can access the structure members? Just see here, in earlier in previous case, this structure definition we have how many number of members, data members 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, how these data members can be accessed? Can these data members can be accessed without using the structure variables? No. So, just see, in accessing the structure members have no meaning individually without the structure. It does not have any meaning, individual meaning without the structure. So, we cannot access the structure members without using the structure variable. So, in order to assign a value to any structure member, the member name must be linked with the structure variable using a dot operator. Just see here, dot operator is also known as period or the member access operator. So, using this dot operator we can access the structure member of the structure member of the given structure. Just see here, we have declared a structure student. There are 4 fields, already we have discussed before. There are 4 fields. Now, inside the main method we are declaring the variables struct student S1. Just see here, we have declared this variable outside this structure definition. Now, we want to set the data members using this variable. We have taken here only 2 data members, age and the student and the name. So, these 2 members are set over here, the values are these 2 members are set over here. How we can set these values? So, first we will write down the variable name S1, then dot, then the member name is what? Age. So, S1 dot age is equal to 30. This is how we can assign this using equal is what? Equal is assignment operator in C. So, we are assigning a value 30 to this member age for what? For variable S1. So, if we take another variable S2, so for that also we will write S2 dot age is equal to 40, something like that. Similarly, for the second member name, so this for that we have used strcpy function. So, creating a s1 dot name. So, basically variable name dot the member name, what we are setting the value, the string value Upendra. So, Upendra is setting to that particular member of that s1 variable. So, now we have set these values. Now the next is to we have to print out these values. So, first we have print out the name of the student, that is s1 dot name, and then we have to will print the age of the student, that is s1 dot age, by using printf function. So, for the printing the name, we have used format specifier percentile s. For printing the age, since it is integer type, so we have used percentile d over here. Just see here in output, the name of the student Upendra and the age of the student is student 1 is 30. So, these are the printed over here. Just see here is in this example we have initialized these member variables directly over here. So, the initialization of these structure members can also be done using the scanf function, which basically takes input from the console. So, just see here the scanf function is used to take the input from the console, percentile s for s1 dot name, percentile d for what, so s1 dot a. So, these two functions are being used to take the input from the console. So, both the name and age will be entered through the console by the user, and they automatically will be populated in these data members, and finally they will be printed over here like this. So, this is how we can access the structure member. Now, now how we can initialize the structure. Just see there are two different ways to initialize the structure over here. So, just see in the first example we have created a structure patient which has 3 attributes, which has 3 data members, height, weight and age. One is float and the rest of 2 are of type integer types. Just see here, we have declared a variable p1 of what type, is patient type, struct patient p1. This is the variable, and this variable is initialized by using assignment operator, and the values are provided within the curly bracket over here. Just see here there are 3 members. So, we have provided 3 members over here. First the floating value, second the integer value, third is the integer value. So, this is what the instant initialization of a structure variable we can perform. Now, these values can also be initialized one by one by just using the second example here. All the 3 members are assigned by individually. Just see here for variable p1, p1 dot height is already assigned by something, p1 dot weight is assigned by something, p1 dot age is assigned by something. So, each individual member of the structure here is assigned one by one over here. So, this is how we can initialize the structure members. Now, till now we have seen that we have created a single variable or 2 variables for storing the records of the student records or employee records. But if we have an option to store 100 number of students, records of 100 number of students, then what we can do in that case. So, if we want to store records of a certain number of students or employee, in that case we will use the array of a structure. So, just see here we have defined a variable whose name is employee, which type is structure type is employee. So, basically emp is a variable which of type struct employee, and which is the type of what, which is the type of an array. Just see here, this is an array. So, this is an array which can have maximum 5 elements. So, basically just writing down a single line, we are basically declaring a 5 variables, structure variables of type struct employee. Just see here. So, basically here we have declared 5 different variables of what, of the structure employee type. So, the below program defines an array employee of size 5, each element of the array employees of type employee. Just see here employee, the definition of employee structure, we have two attributes, we have 2 fields over here, mentioned 2 fields over here. Now, we have declared a array of a structure variable of size 5, but here we have used only 3 variables 0, 1 and 2. So, basically we are entering the records for the 3 employees over here. So, by calling this function 3 times, the first time it will take input from the console for the employee 0, employee of 0 means first employee dot e name. Similarly, employee of 0 salary means the salary of first employee. Similarly, if the value of I is 1, so the employee of 1 dot ename the name of the second employee. Similarly, the name of the salary of the second employee. Similarly, for the third also. So this is same way we can get the values from the console for all these 3 employees. Now, once we have entered the records of 3 employees here, we will print it on the console by using this function, by using this for loop. I is equal to 0 to 2, it will run from 0 to 2 and it will print out the employee name by percentile s employee I dot ename and salary is equal to percentile d employee I dot salary. So, this is how this array of a structure can be utilized to print, to store the records for n number of employees, for n number of students, and also to print on the console. Now, this is what about the structure. Now, the union. Union is also very much similar to the structure. It is also a heterogeneous data type which can store multiple data of different data types, and it is also being defined and declares very much similar to an array. Just see very much similar to a structure. Just see here, here the union data is declared, it has 4 number of members over here, and here we have also declared the union variables similar to an structure, and the elements will be also accessed similar to the structure here. But the difference between union and a structure is that in case of union, compiler allocates a single block of memory, only single block of memory for the elements of an union, and and the elements will be stored one by one in that memory allocation, while in the case of a structure, compilers allocates memory individually for each member of the structure. So, basically if we talk about memory utilization, so in that case union is better than the structure over here. Now, this is all about the union in C. Now, we will discuss the enumerated type in C. So, for enumeration type we use a keyword, that is enum. Just see here, enum keyword is used to declare a enumerated type in C, which is a user defined data type in C. Why it is used? So, it is mainly used to assign names to integral constants. Just see here, basically it is being used to giving names to the integral constants. Why it is required? Because the name makes a program easy to read and maintain. Just see here, we have declare a enum data type flag whose name is flag, and just here we have given the names constant 1, constant 2, constant 3 dot dot constant n, and these are basically the given names corresponding to the integral values, integral constants. So, if we do not provide the constant values over here, so C compiler automatically takes the value for constant 1 as 0, the next constant 2, that is 1. So, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So, this is how the compiler automatically takes the default values of these names enumeration types. So, the next is we can also change the default values of the enum elements during the declaration. So, during the declaration, when we are going to declare the enum data type, during the declaration we can provide the constant values to these members. So, just see here, there are 4 members and we have separately provided the constant values to these values to these members. So, these constant values will be utilized further in program. Now, just here, this is an example. We have declared two enum type. First one is the name is week and the second name is given the day, and each enum type has 7 data members Monday to Sunday. So, it is also have 7 data members. Just here, in both the cases some of the members are already initialized. Just see here, Monday is already initialized, Friday is already initialized, and the Saturday is already initialized over here. Similarly, for the second case also, the Friday, Saturday, both these two are already initialized. So, just see how these constant values will be evaluated during the program running. Just see here, for the first case, since we have initialized the value of first member, so it will be printed like this 10. We have printed over here, just printf function we have called for the first one, and here we have called for the second one. Just see, for the first one printf function, the first value is already assigned 10, so it will print 10. Next value is not assigned, so compiler automatically take it increments 1 by the previous value, just the previous value is what 10. So, it will print a 11. Now, the third is 12, now fourth is 12, 13. Now, the value of this Friday member is already assigned. So, 10 will be printed over here, just see here 10 is printed. Now, Saturday is already assigned. So, 16 assigned value 16 is already printed over here. Now, for Sunday it is not assigned. So, the next value of 16, this is the value of this one, previous one is 16. So, the next value will be 17. So, 17 will be printed. Just see here for the second case, Monday it is not initialized. So, by default it will start from 0. The compiler will automatically starts with default value, that is 0. The next is what, incremented by 1, 0 plus 1, 1. So, 1, 2, 3, this value is already assigned. So, it will be printed as 18 over here. Now, next is 11. So, 11 will be printed over here. Now, it is not assigned. So, the next value means incremented by 1 from the previous value. So, 11 plus 1 how much, 12. So, this is how we just see how we can utilize the enum data type in example of C programming. Now, the next is can we pass an array to the function. So, what is the benefit of passing an array to the function? So, using a single variable we can pass a multiple items of the same type to the function. Just see here various general problem which requires passing more than one variable of the same type to a function where the array comes into the picture. So, array name contains the address of the first element. This is the beauty of array, that when we write down the array name only, it will contains the address of the first elements. So, it is very fruitful in writing down the programs in C. So, here we must notice that we need to pass only the name of the array in the function which is intended to accept an array. So, once during the calling of the function, when we will pass the array to that function. So, during passing the function that array to the function, just writing down the array name is sufficient, and automatically that name will be treated to get all the elements of array inside that function. So, this is the method to declare a function. There are basically 3 different ways. In first way return type, then the function name, and we are passing this array. First we write down the type of the array, data type of the array. For example, it is if it is int, so int will be written over here, then the array name, then the square bracket, empty square bracket. So, empty square bracket is telling the compiler that we are passing the array. Now, the second approach is, instead of writing down the blank subscript, we are also providing the size of the array over here. And the third way is we do not provide the subscript, but we are just passing the pointer of the array, pointer to the array. It will be treated similar to like this. So, these are the 3 different ways we can pass an array to the function. Just see here how we can pass an array to the function. Now, this is a program which calculates the sum of array. Just see here, we have declared an array whose name is age over here. It has certain number of elements. Just see here, it has certain number of elements. Now, our objective of this program is we have to pass this array to a function, and what that function will do? The function will access each element of this array one by one, and it will add to the sum variable. Just see here, this is the function name is what? The calculate sum. We have passed this array whose name is age, and what it is doing? It is accessing each individual element from the array by using this for loop for I is equal to 0 to 6. So, it is accessing the individual element from this array one by one, and it is summing up into into another variable whose name is sum, and sum is initialized with 0.0. So, what it will do? This function is basically summing up all the elements of the array, and finally, it is returning, and now where it is returning, where this function has been called. So, where it has been called inside the main function. Just see here in this line, this calculate sum function has been called. So, what it will do? Whatever the result it will calculate over here, it will return to this one, and it will be stored in this variable result, and this result will be stored over here. Just see here how we can pass an array to the function, and how we are able to find out, do some calculation on the elements of the array, and we are able to find out the final result over here. Just here, this is the result 162.50 we are getting. Now, however, notice that the use of square bracket in the function definition, this informs the compiler that we are passing a one dimensional array. So, basically this is the indication. Here just see, here we are writing down the square bracket, this is the indication that we are passing a single dimensional array to the function. Just see here. So, what we are doing here, we are just passing the name of, just see here in this function, during the calling here, we are just passing the name of the array, it is sufficient, and what it doing, it is able to access all the elements of array over here, it is doing some calculation over here, and after doing calculation it gives some result, and that result is being printed over here. So, this is how we can pass an array to the function. So, this is all about what the structure, what is the structure, how we can write down a program in a structure, union, enumeration data type, and finally passing array to the function. Thank you very much.